everyone. This is my second year actually presenting the FinTech Insights here to the best of best in FinTech who have gathered here today. And it's actually not just my second year here, but I just celebrated the second anniversary of Fathom Foresight as well. For those who don't know what Fathom Foresight is, we are a knowledge as a service platform focused specifically on financial innovation and FinTech space. And when I say FinTech space and not industry, because I think every industry is now looking at FinTech and trying to get into FinTech. So every major corporation in the world at this point, either they have launched at least one FinTech product, or they are in the, there's a work in progress FinTech product being launched by them. I would actually love to play a game where you could name the major corporations and I can tell you what FinTech products that they have, but maybe we'll save that for the cocktail hour. Yeah, I really want to thank some of the logos here, our clients. It's been a very supportive journey, and the list is definitely growing big. But I'm hoping to kind of make this insightful and helpful for the folks here. What I'm going to focus is some of the big highlights from this year, and a little bit peek into the future. What are the things that we might see towards the end of the year or starting off 2024? So with that, let's get into it. Okay, I think the trend that is shining the brightest this year is newcomers to Canada and financial services for them. In just past 3 to 4 months, we have seen all the big 6 banks and some of the credit unions as well launch products or announce a partnership which is focused for newcomers in Canada. And it's not a surprise. From 2016 to 2021, we have had 1.3 million immigrants land in Canada. And in 2022 alone, we had close to 500,000. So that's the kind of growing population of immigrants in Canada that we have, which includes professionals, international businesses, international students as well. And that's why some of the partnerships that you see here are diverse. They are meant for all these different segments of immigrants that are entering the country. I want to highlight a few, the ones that I think are very innovative. By the way, all the banks' initiative here, I think they are commendable. They have either announced a partnership with a platform that is focused on information, financial innovation, information and advice for immigrants. But the one that really caught my eye is Scotiabank partnering with Nova Credit. Nova Credit is a company that helps you transfer your credit history and your credit score from your home country to Canada. Now, that is really commendable. We haven't had any FinTech do that in the world yet. Nova Credit has been working in US for the same solution for over a decade, and I think they've done a commendable job, and now they are expanding globally, Canada being sort of the first one in their expansion, and now they're moving to Europe as well. So with that, Scotiabank will be able to offer better services to newcomers because they now have their credit history, so you won't have to start as a newcomer with a $1,000 limit credit card anymore, hopefully. And then some of the FinTech solutions as well. Obviously, cross-border money transfer has been around since forever, but we are seeing new technologies in there, more digitized ways to do it, and also faster ways to do it. So real-time payments kind of being transferred in a much faster way back home to your family. Some of the solutions for international students, I think commendable companies here. Passage is a company that is launched by a serial entrepreneur from Waterloo. The company doesn't even have a website. They got 40 million in funding. So it's that kind of solution that he's launched. It's meant to finance international students and help them pay for their studies here. We do have POS terminals that enable you to pay with Alipay or WeChat Pay or some of the other super apps from Asia in Canada. Alipay also partnered with CIBC and Simply for real-time transfer from your bank account into the wallet. Pretty commendable, and I think a really good use case for international tourist population here, which is pretty huge. And the next one here, credit score building. I think in this past probably 2 months or so, we've had so many new companies launch just helping you build your credit score. But even the established players like Neo Financial, Borrowell, they have been launching solutions focused on people who are new to country, but even if you're Canadian and you don't have a good credit history or a low credit score. Borrowell, for example, has a great collaboration with National Bank, wherein they help you to build your credit score through a subscription product. And the amazing thing is that half of that subscription goes into a savings account. So you're building your credit score, that payment is being, every month, subscription payment is being reported to your credit bureau. But also half of that money goes into a saving account, which you can access with interest after 3 years. They also launched Rent Advantage product, which I think is becoming pretty popular in Canada. If you're not owning a house, you make a rental payment every month. And why shouldn't that help you to actually build a credit history? So Rent Advantage is exactly that product. Every month when you pay your rent, Borrowell reports that to Equifax Canada, and that helps you to build a credit history. Nova Credit, I already talked about. Neo Financial, the brand behind Tim Hortons' newly launched credit card, has launched a secure credit card. Doesn't require any credit approval. It is guaranteed that you'll get one, and it helps you build credit history as well. So a lot of interesting players here. Credit Sesame just launched an amazing credit score building product, which is powered by AI. And it helps to break down the different elements that go into your credit history. So credit mix, type of accounts that you have, your credit inquiries, and then it scores you on different categories. So you actually know where do you lack and how can you start building within those categories. I highly recommend actually looking at that product. It's called Ring, AI8 Ring Credit Score Building, something like that. And if you're a financial institution and you're looking for partners to embed credit score building product into your mobile banking, online banking platform, check out Marble. They do offer the white label credit score building solutions to financial institutions as well. A lot of other names, I wish we had more time, but this is a space which is seeing a lot of new launches, but also funding. VCs are investing into this space. Of course, alternative data. We have been talking about alternative data for close to a decade, maybe more. Earlier, it used to be like, oh, you could use your Facebook profile, link your Facebook profile. How is it going to help you get a better loan? It didn't. And social alternative data-based credit scoring did fail or didn't see that much of a popularity. But we are actually in a phase now where we have relevant database that could be used not by just fintechs, but actually by the banks within their, to do the credit risk assessment for retail clients, but also for small business customer base, which is actually one of the biggest use case that is building up around the world. Just to kind of highlight a few players here, like traditional credit bureaus are now starting to take into consideration rental payments, utility payments, buy now, pay later payments in order to build your credit history. Fintechs, as I mentioned, they are starting to offer credit building products. SME platforms, be it payment platforms or e-commerce platforms, like Shopify, Amazon, Square, Clover, all of them offer a lending product in the country, in Canada. And none of them are into the lending business. It is a secondary financial product that they have started offering just because they have so much data on these companies. They know how much you're selling every single day. They know what your client reviews are. They know which products sell better, which season you need a cash flow, you have a cash flow gap, so they can offer you that working capital loan. But for financial institutions, I think the second last category is the one that you should really start focusing on, especially because we are on the verge of open banking launch in Canada. And with that, mind you, all these SME platforms will have access to, officially have access to the financial data of SMEs. So as a bank, you need to ensure that you have access to alternative data. And companies like Uplink, amazing company, not very old, but doing amazing work. They offer over 10,000 data points, data sources for SMEs from over 150 countries. Commendable in terms of the amount of data that they can offer in a single API. So you can adjudicate your credit applications better for small businesses. Forwarded AI doing the same thing. I think these are the partners that small business banking teams should really be talking to at this time. And I'm going to talk about AI and machine learning. I think 2020, later part of 2022 and early 2023, as we all know, ChatGPT kind of became a thing. Everybody wanted to try something on it. But at the background, financial institutions and fintechs were taking notice of it. There were a lot of partnerships announced with OpenAI. And first half of this year, I think they were running those pilots, trying to see how that works. And as we entered the second half of this year, a lot of announcements from banks, from fintechs, new fintechs being launched that are using AI as their base technology for different use cases. And this slide here, by the way, is no mean to be exhaustive. There are a lot more players that are playing in AI and financial services in Canada. This is only meant to highlight a few that were very recent launches or they got funding recently. The one that I want to highlight at the top there is wealth management tech company called QuentQuest. Again, 2018 founded, amazing product, has backing from some of the big names like Portage and Diagram Ventures, and are working with big names and big players in the industry like RBC, IGM Financial. What they offer is an AI-based financial advisor. So obviously, it's not replacing financial advisors yet in branches, but it is making their life easier. So based on the data and the risk matrix that a client offers, it can actually build a base strategy for investment strategy, financial strategy for that client. And then obviously, you could work with a financial advisor on this platform virtually to further tailor your strategy based on your needs. And they have a lot of big clients on their platform now. Novisto, AI-based ESG monitoring, helps you to actually keep track of all your ESG measures within your financial institution, and then also report on those ESG measures to the government. PropTech is seeing a lot of new use cases around that. Recently, Intuit announced Intuit Assist, and that is their generative AI conversational capability that they're offering across all their platforms. So MailChimp, QuickBooks, TurboTax, all of those has Intuit Assist as a tool there that you can actually run some journeys on there. So if you're trying to file a tax, you can actually file the tax with that conversational AI end to end, right from giving your documents to completing the tax filing. Salesforce did the same thing. They just launched their conversational AI platform as well across, again, all the platforms, really helping some sales and marketing and CRM executives around financial institutions. Okay, embedded finance and BaaS. I know it's not 2023 insight, but I think we are seeing a continued rise here. Tim Hortons card being launched. The way, I can't even describe how huge their reach is. No financial institution or in fact, no company, I think, right now has the kind of reach to the user, be it Canadians, be it the immigrants that Tim Hortons has. Neo Financial moving full steam towards BaaS. All their products that they offer to retail customers, they're offering those to financial institutions and fintechs as a white label product. Synctera partnering with National Bank and entering Canada that way. I think all of those are amazing, but let's look at Apple. And I'm sorry for the error there. It's 10 billion, not million. Apple launched their savings product about 3 months ago, and it was only made available to their credit card customers in US. That's the only target customer that it was made available to. Within 3 days, they had 1 billion in deposits. Apple took 1 billion from financial institutions in US and put it into their savings account. And now it's been 3 months, 10 billion in deposits. So that's the kind of impact that these tech giants can have on our industry. And it's only a matter of time that this will be made available in Canada pretty soon. But in US, Apple has a cash account, which is their deposit account capability, a credit card capability, their savings account, of course. They launched their own buy now, pay later, Apple Pay Later this year. So, and not to forget their amazing ID product, which is being accepted at airport security in US now. So you can imagine the kind of impact this has. But we've been talking about embedded finance. There are actually new fintechs in the country that are enabling embedded wealth, embedded insurance, also embedded travel fintech. Hopper, a big player from actually Montreal, is making some big strides around the world. They just partnered with Uber. So if you're in UK using Uber app, you can actually book flights from Uber app in UK, and that is being enabled by Hopper. Some big hefty use cases, and also Canadian fintechs are seeing popularity around the world now. In terms of what banks have been up to when it comes to embedded finance, we have actually seen big banks launching their payment APIs or APIs to enable you to get access to your financial data feeds within your ERP or accounting platforms. Most big banks did this. Scotia actually launched their own set of APIs called Transact, which is pretty amazing, and they made it public. Obviously, this is in anticipation of open banking. And once that comes in, we wouldn't need to have these one-on-one partnerships with accounting platforms because the data will then be flowing in open banking rails. SME challenger banking. None of these logos existed in Canada 2 years ago. Most of these are pandemic babies. A lot of global players launching in Canada, Float, Jeeves, some of the other, like Brex, started offering accounts in Canada as well. But a lot of players that are headquartered in Canada, Walt, Loop, EQ Bank just announced that they are launching small business accounts. Shopify, Square started offering credit cards, and now hopefully Shopify Balance product, which is live in the US, which is their deposit account capability, will be made available in Canada soon. Sorry, I'm running here because I'm like 3 minutes left, and I have a lot to talk about. Major consolidation in crypto industry. We have 12 registered crypto platforms registered with CSE in Canada. 4 of them have joined forces this year. Major consolidation, and it brings in other capabilities, like they have crypto to fiat currency acceptance for merchants, Web3 capabilities of Wonderfy, NFT marketplace. So it is, and Wonderfy is a public company trading on Toronto Stock Exchange. So this is actually the biggest and public crypto platform in Canada now. Okay, phone as point of sale. I think people should start worrying about this. Apple launched Apple Tap to Pay, which means any Apple phone now can become a POS machine. So the hardware POS machines can maybe become a thing of past in a couple of years, or maybe soon, who knows, because Square has launched the similar capability on Android phones as well. So if you have a phone and you're a merchant trying to sell something, or you have a big store, doesn't matter, give your employees an iPhone or Android phone, and that's how they can complete the checkout for customers in these stores. This is right now live in US. They are working with some of the big PSPs like Stripe, Fiserv, Square, ADN. Again, all of these players operate in Canada, including Apple. So pretty soon, I'm sure this technology will enter our borders as well. Okay, fintech and FI partnerships. I think banks and credit unions are showing commendable confidence in fintechs. A lot of partnerships announced this year, and mind you, these are only the public announcements. I know there's a lot happening behind the stage. We usually find that when we talk to a fintech or a financial institution. But as you can see, a lot of big names and a lot of fintechs here working together for different use cases in Canada. A lot of new fintech launches. 2023, I think we are still crunching the numbers for year end, but highest number of new product launches, both headquartered in Canada, but also global players entering Canadian market in a big, big way. A lot of new challenger banks being launched, and then a lot of use cases around AI, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this. Around 2,800 fintechs operating in Canada. And I say around because we track this day in and day out. I don't think a day passes by when we don't discover a new fintech. So I think there are well over 3,000 fintechs right now operating in Canada, which means headquartered in Canada or global fintechs operating here. Paytech being the biggest sector, but the fastest growing sectors in Canada is challenger banking and AI. We have over 100 challenger banking products in Canada now, which includes products for retail customer, but also for small businesses. But yeah, hopefully this was insightful. And we are also releasing a Quebec FinTech report in collaboration with Finance Montreal and Station FinTech. Hopefully you can scan the code and get access to both English and French version. But yeah, hopefully this was insightful, and I look forward to seeing the amazing group again next year. Thank you.